Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. I am your host, the only Kayla, and today I have a very special guest here at Mega Atlanta Radio. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Patrick. Chris, how are you feeling today?
I feel amazing. I ain't gonna lie, I'm happy to be back in Atlanta. Just like my second home. Haven't been here in some time, so it's dope as hell to be back.
Yes. So I know you're from New Jersey. So like when you come out here, is it like a different vibe? How you feeling when you come out here?
You know, it's crazy. It kind of feel like home a lot of the times. You got like similar people to the most part. The music scene is a little bit crazier out here. It's definitely like a lot more going on. But it don't really feel that much different from Jersey. The food here is amazing. Like it's top tier, but like it really feel the same as Jersey for me at least.
Yeah, the food is good.
Yeah.
So now we have a lot to talk about today. I know you've had a very exciting week. So tell everyone what you do, where you're from.
Word. I'm Chris Patrick, a rapper. I'm from East Orange, New Jersey. I've been rapping, I'm 26 now. I've been rapping since I was like 10 years old, but I didn't really take this whole thing seriously until I was like 21. I had a crazy course of events. I ended up entering a contest at my college, Rider University, and the winner got to open up for whoever was coming for our fall concert or whatever. It happened to be Travis Scott. So that was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. And going from performing in front of like 100 people to like 2,300 in the span of like 6 days for me was enough for me to say, yeah, I'm about to do this forever. This is crazy. I got to keep pushing at it. And since then, I've literally just been chipping away, trying to build on everything I've already established day by day.
So we got to talk about that. What was that like opening up for Travis Scott?
I'm gonna be real. He became my first and foremost, like he became my favorite rapper that day because I got to see that live. I remember a month before we actually had went there, I saw him at Made in America. I told my homies I'm gonna open up for Travis Scott one day. So a month later, having that happen was crazy as hell for me. But then like doing it was just like surreal. Like I had never really had a moment like that in my life, and it was like I'm doing this so naturally. It's super easy. Everybody's vibing. Because in the competition we did, I had to create original songs. A lot of people already hip to that. So, this being my first big performance, having people mouth lyrics back to you is crazy. So the whole thing just felt like, it felt like a dream. And I just had to keep pursuing it because I wanted to get back there again.
Yeah, that's amazing. I actually have a funny story with Travis Scott. So I actually saw him live in concert. It was like, I think, 2015... 2016, around there. And at the time, Travis Scott wasn't Travis Scott today, right? So he opened up for The Weeknd. And I remember, like, the stadium was empty. Because, with those type of concerts, people usually come for, like, the main act. So I had front row seats. And I didn't even record because I was like, who's Travis Scott? Like, I didn't even know at the time. And even though he was well known, he obviously wasn't Travis Scott, And now I regret that to this day because I'm like, damn, I have front row. I was watching Travis Scott and didn't even know, like, what he was going to be in just a few years. So I think that's amazing and just, like, a testament to, like, you just never know the direction of which your life is going to go, and you could blow up at any time.
No, absolutely. I remember even watching him when he did Birds in the Trap. I'm like, wow, like, this is crazy.
Love that song.
For him to do, like, Astroworld, I'm like, this is the same guy. So, like you say, it's amazing to watch how all of this stuff evolves for people.
And that's definitely something that now you have under your belt. Like, I opened up for Travis Scott, these Travis Scott people.
Yeah, I'll be telling a lot of people because they don't even believe in me. But, like, when I explain the story, they be like, you really did that. I'm like, yeah, it was the craziest moment of my life at the time.
So I got to tap into your EP, your project, your album, Lost Files. And I love it. Like, it was really, really good. It was a good body of work. How would you describe your sound for people who are just now tapping into Chris Patrick?
I guess the best way to really make sense of my sound is very inclusive. Versatile, obviously, but I try to make it as inclusive as possible for everybody. When I started, it was just rap. And there was obviously a certain group of people we was dealing with when it came to rap. And as we just started to develop the sound more and more, as we started doing more things, adding more of the melodies, the singing, it just started to bring in more people. I try to make it as inclusive as possible. I think music is a collaborative effort, not in just the creation, but in the enjoyment as well. And it don't make sense that I could enjoy something that you can't. Why don't we make something that both of us can enjoy? It's just going to make the vibe so much better.
And I think also, like, rappers today kind of get a lot of flack sometimes because they're like, hip-hop isn't what it used to be and all these things. Right. But I think what people aren't, thinking about is, like, I feel like it's forced a lot of rappers to be creative, essentially, because the sound is ever-changing and, people are playing around with different sounds, melodies, and it sounds really good. Like, even your song, Moonwalkin', that was like a drill drill song, right? And it was like, damn, this is fire, especially because, New York is on top right now when it comes to the drill scene. So what was that like for you tapping into like a drill record?
It's crazy. I got a couple of those in the cut already, but it's like, I think the biggest part about my sound, because we in New Jersey and we smack between a New York and a Philadelphia essentially.
Yeah.
There's a big melting pot of sounds and just backgrounds and walks of life. So it wouldn't do any justice to just do one thing. I love New York drill. That's just amazing. Like I love it. So just to be able to do that and actually have a song, like I got a couple, but it's like to have one, I'm like really, really like, oh yeah, we gotta release this. Like we gotta go crazy with this. It was super fire. And then to watch it translate in shows, like, all right, we going rapping here, then we doing a little singing, then we give y'all drill. Like the comparisons people give me is one thing, but when they see it live and they see like, oh, it's more than just a comparison, it's crazy. So like I'm super for all of that.
Yeah,
just shaking it up.
You're very versatile for sure. And like you mentioned, rapping, you got the drill, but you also have some singing because I noticed some singing on your record, Zendaya.
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about what that song is about.
The best way to really make sense of this is I feel like all of us deserve to have that special person, you know what I'm saying? And that's really where I summed it up. It was crazy watching the whole news of Tom Holland come out about, like that's
his girl.
That's his girl, you know what I'm saying? So like everybody was tweaking because everybody loves Zendaya. So like obviously that was something I had saw and I just laughed about it. But then as I was making the song later, like maybe a couple months later, I was like, yo, this would be a fire concept to like kind of expand on. Like, what if I made this sound fire? Obviously I said Zendaya to make that thing flow a little bit better, but like it's really just about making sure you find that person, essentially.
Now, is she your like Hollywood crush, or is it just someone that like the name just came to you at the time?
Yo, it's crazy. The name just came to me. My girl actually is a super fan of Zendaya. She loves Zendaya. So like, it just be I be hearing about Zendaya all the time. So at this point, I might as well take what I be hearing about and throw it into something and make it fire. So like, I just wanted to find a way to make that as smooth as possible for like more people to enjoy it. Because it's like we got the moonwalking and the drill, but I've seen a lot of women really pop out for that Zendaya record, and that's super fire to me. Again, it's inclusive moment. I'm trying to bring everybody in.
No, yeah, definitely fire for sure. And then another record on that project is Back on Road. So another, dope track. Tell us a little bit about what Back on Road is.
So my homie Asar, he in Chicago. That's one of my brothers for real. I got my project mixed in Chicago. Shout out my dog Elton, Classic Studios. They mixed the whole project. In that period of time as we was working on this next big project, even Lost Files too, we had to do a lot of traveling. Like I was ever so rarely home. And I realized how much that affected everybody, my family, my friends, my girl specifically. And that's really where I really pinned that from. It's just the idea that knowing that, obviously we have this journey that we're on trying to get to, there's still the real life things happening outside of this whole music. Like there are real people still being affected by me either being present or not being present. And that's just something I wanted to reflect on. Like I'm really self-aware of everything. As much, I could be having the best day of my life, but if I'm still gonna be self-aware of something that maybe I didn't take care of that I know I should have. So that's really just reflecting on that. And Asar, we actually did a little tour with Grip. He from Atlanta actually. And it was like maybe like a 7-city tour. And Asar came with me. So it was, him and I was kind of going through similar things, trying to make sure everything was good back home and stuff as we moving through city to city, just doing all this. And, that's the business that we in. It's a lot of being away from home, but I think the most important piece is just finding that balance throughout all of it.
And one thing I love about that record too is it's very relatable, which I think we're seeing a lot in terms of like the new generation of rappers. They're like not afraid to open up and talk about the things that they're dealing with, and the song can really resonate with anyone. You don't have to be a rapper, because like I was able to relate to it because as a journalist myself, sometimes if there's an event or there's an award show I have to be at, I got to get on the road and I have to go, and I have a family too. I have a 4-year-old, so it's definitely a relatable song that I think that anyone can put it on and be like, oh wow, like I feel that, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, music for me, in addition to just like performing it and just putting it out, it's like a healing process for me. So like a lot of times the funniest and the best part about this whole thing is like I'll be going through stuff, but it's like, all right, how can I put this in a relatable way that's easy to digest and it's just a vibe. And I think that's where the challenge comes, but it's really a healing process. It's just like, all right, finding what I got to unpack as a person and then just finding a way to make that spin on a record. It's a lot of fun, but as I go through these records, it's like, again, self-awareness, just making these things present to me. And it's like, okay, I know I can fix now as I move through it.
It's definitely therapeutic for sure.
For sure.
Is there a specific topic or discussion that you would like to highlight in any of your songs going forward, or something that you down the line would say, you know what, I'd love to make a record about this?
Nah. I just kind of let it. I don't even like to put it in a box like that, because I feel like I used to make music like that before. Like, oh, I got to make it about this. But it's like, realistically, it's like I could wake up today and say, oh, it's going to be the best day ever. And I walk outside and something happens, and all of a sudden it's the worst day. It's like I can't predict what's gonna happen. I just kind of go with the flow. I put on beats. I'm with people. Whatever just happens, and then from there, we put things together. Obviously, we don't always talk about the things we feel, but subconsciously we feel those things. So if I'm putting these records together, not really knowing where I'm going with it, I'm just building. It's coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
At that point, we just bring it to life to the highest level, and then if we feel like it's substantial to drop it, we drop it. But yeah, I try to keep my mind open to certain things. Like, obviously, I know I got more life to live and stuff, so I'm super excited to talk about more things as I go through life. But usually, as I create these things, I just go through the process of just like, all right, let's just freely create whatever you feel in the day. Let's just do that.
Mm-hmm. Now, we mentioned earlier that you are from Jersey.
Yeah.
How do you incorporate, your Jersey roots within your music today?
So majority of my team is from Jersey. That's first and foremost. I grew up on a lot of Jersey everything. One of the big people was Lauryn Hill. You know what I'm saying? She
Classic.
rap and sing. That's versatility like you've ever seen it. Fetty Wap is another one as well too.
Yep.
Again, just from
Jersey.
those, you know what I'm saying? So just from them two, you got rapping, you got singing, and then you got the melodies. That's the blueprint for literally a lot of what I've been doing. It's like, okay, we got the rapping for the points that we needed. We got the singing, whether it's a full song or a hook, and then we got the melodies to just keep things rolling. So, I don't think Jersey is just rap. Even the drill culture that's sometimes in fact, like, literally comes into Jersey from New York. Like, all of this music that I'm creating stems from someplace growing up. I only said Lauryn Hill and Fetty Wap because those are the two that really, really, really jump out to me a lot of the times when I really think about this. But it just comes from like all of these different things in music that we listen to all comes together in this. But Lauryn Hill and Fetty, just the ranges in which they touch, especially Fetty with some of the records he had, like some of the great big records he had, just flowing and like that was like unheard of.
Yeah.
That was unheard of. So like I remember I was in college when I first heard of Fetty Wap, and I'm like, damn, like he figured it out. And same with Lauryn, she figured it out. So like that's my whole thing, just trying to do as much as I can to just figure out what works for me per se. But those two were definitely the ones that like influence everything.
Yeah, I feel like Fetty Wap is really, really known, but like I feel like New Yorkers understand, like, and people from that New York, New Jersey, like understand it more. So like when I come out here, I always tell people like, nah, Fetty Wap had 2015 on lock.
Lock.
We were jamming to Fetty Wap the entire year, and even after that, I'm like, damn. Like when you look at his catalog, it was like every song he put out was
A
fire.
banger. Like it didn't even make no sense.
I was like, how did he put all these songs on one project?
But like
they're so good.
So I'm gonna even go as far to say like there's certain people who like. So sometimes you see it happen where like folks can put out multiple bangers. Like we had a Drake, we got a Bad Bunny. I think Fetty could have been one of them too, because he was just putting like he got it. He just understood it. He was putting things together in the craziest ways, and I'm like, bro, he could have been one of them guys. Shout out Fetty for sure. But he was special for real. He was special
for
as hell.
sure. So aside from, Lost Files, we have a really big project coming up, your sophomore album titled X Files.
Yeah.
So when are we going to get that project from you? And tell me a little bit about the creative process behind it and what that's been like.
Okay, so it's dropping August 10th. That's a great day for me.
That's literally next week.
Next week, yeah. We outside.
Next Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. And for the creative process for me, like, my first project, I finished it. We dropped it in 2020. Some of the records that are on X Files were created in 2019, early 2020. So like this has been a thing. And interestingly enough, I got this date on here. It's June 30th, 2019. I guess the best way to sum up the project is about self-forgiveness. And I feel like this day for me is really important because that's when I started to take that process to like just forgive self and growing up. Like where I'm from, we all come from a lot of different backgrounds and shit like that. So like it's a lot watching everybody. Like I have both my parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, God bless, it's amazing. But I know a lot of my friends didn't always have that. So, like, we all outside, we all chilling, we all just getting into things and just watching the way everybody's growing and watching the way everybody evolves. The biggest piece that really tied us all together, it was a lot of God, just masculinity, trying to find ways to just grow and demand without perpetuating toxicity. That's the whole thing. Obviously, we make mistakes with a lot of this stuff, but, those mistakes can weigh if you're not patient with yourself. And by just going through that process of forgiveness for me, I was just able to grow as a person. And a lot of the project, it don't like harp on that directly. It ultimately ties into that. But what it does is just explore a lot of those feelings that I had moving through like the course of 3 years. And I just put it in the musical form. You feel me? Like that's the whole thing for me. I just try to like, there's dance records on that, Afro beats. It's just a culmination of all the feelings, but in a really digestible way. But the whole thing really just is about being patient with yourself and just growing, just loving who you're growing into versus shunning it. Like we can't
Yeah.
We are who we are, and we have to just learn to love who we are. We do make mistakes, but if you're willing to just obviously take accountability for what you do, it's going to be so much easier becoming a better person.
No, I definitely agree with that. And it's funny because you answered my next question, which was like, are you going to play around with different sounds, which you mentioned? Because, like we said, we saw some singing from you, rapping, drill, but you said you have Afro beats, some dance hall. So everything for everybody, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in addition to just making it inclusive to everybody as a person, like, you don't just wake up and be mad all day.
No.
And like, you don't wake up and when you're mad, you're not mad to like 10. You might be a 2 today in terms of your madness. You might be a 6. Or like maybe you're happy and it's only a 3. Or maybe you're super happy. Like we all experience a wide range of emotions. And I feel like with music, we have to find a way to really make sure that we're accurately making sure that feel is there. Like, I know I'm not happy all the time. I know I'm not angry all the time. Music shouldn't just be rap all the time. We should do things that encompass more because it reflects more of the actual human experience versus just like, we rapping all day. That's my philosophy at least.
No, that's true. And music has I feel like can be a big escape for us sometimes. Like if you know you're mad or you're going through something, you're gonna put on an artist or a song that's gonna like change your mood a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that that definitely makes sense. Do you have any features on this project or is it just you?
So it's actually a lot of my homies from Jersey.
Nice.
We got a group called CXR. That's funny. We got it tatted. CXR, again, I kept talking about the melting pot of Jersey, but it stands for Crossroads. It's an intersection for everybody in their walks of life, which is super fire. So it's really everybody from CXR. There are some non-Jersey folks who are CXR on this project, but it's literally all CXR, all the homies. It's really cool, even from the production standpoint. There are some non-CXR folks on this as well, but just from the production standpoint, additional vocals, like it's literally everybody I know. Like everybody I would consider like almost family to me is on this project. So like, that's really what this whole thing is for. I do got plans for like a deluxe where I'm going to reach out to like some of the other homies, like the non-CXR folks. Like I got my dog Deontay Hitchcock, stuff like that. But for this project, it's really just all the gang.
Yeah, no, that's dope because, you are from Jersey and you're essentially like giving back. You're giving your friends who you feel like have, a voice. And for those of you that create like super dope content to have a platform now, like, okay, this is my project, but you guys, I want you guys to give your take on it. So I think that's super dope because now your fan base is going to be like, hey, who's this guy? This guy. Because even like on your song Back on Road, I didn't know who that artist was. But then I was like, wait, who is this? Like he was really good. So I think that's great that you're giving your friends and family a platform.
Yeah, I realized as artists, we, it's easy to be selfish and stuff. And, I moderate myself when it comes to these things, but I realize I feel like I'm moving into a space where like more eyes are becoming on me. And so if I could trailblaze and open up the door for other folks, because again, Jersey, the best way to describe it, we don't really got a pipeline like Atlanta got. Atlanta got a pipeline from like, yo, my cousin just started rap to like 21 Savage. Like there's somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
It is very
to
true.
my homie who just started rapping yesterday. Whereas New Jersey, I don't feel like we really got that. New York has definitely got it. It's a little different than Atlanta, but New York's definitely got it. And for Jersey folks, it's a little harder to get into that scene. Like you really got to be in that. With Jersey, we don't really got that. So I feel like for myself, I already got to work as a trailblazer. Like it's never just about me. It's always bigger than me. Even doing this interview now, it's like, this ain't even just me talking. It's like a bunch of people who probably never had a chance to do this talking through me as we speaking about all this stuff. Like, it's always more than me.
Yeah.
So I just always try to give back to folks who really be working so I could open up a door for them.
No, that's dope for sure. Now, I know you just had a listening party in New York City for X-Files.
L.A.
LA? I thought it was New York.
Yeah, LA. The one that just passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, LA.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was in New York. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so it was in LA.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, seeing the crowd come out and just that genuine love and support and just to see their faces light up when they heard your album?
It was amazing. Because, like, we working on this as a team. Like, the project it covers 3 years, but we worked on it over 18 months. So to watch the work that I put in over 18 months be received and be liked and just folks love it, it's crazy to me. Like, I think as artists, it's always cool to work in our isolation and stuff. But when you really give your stuff to the world, it's no longer yours. It belongs to the world. So at that point, you can't really take back. There ain't no Indian giving stuff here. It's just like, hey, here y'all go. This is for y'all. So to see how great of a reception it was and just to see the turnout, like, it was fire to me. Like, I have a really good feeling about the future after this project.
Yeah, for sure. And now I know you have a single coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Lead Me On.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about Lead Me On. What is that about and what's the vibe on that record?
All right, so that's that Afrobeat stuff. It's a vibe. It's a vibe for sure. What's the best way to sum this up? It's like, it deals with change again. It's like, as a person, sometimes people sign up for stuff that they don't realize they're signing up for, and they don't always read. They don't always realize that. So sometimes you feel like when you sold on a person, and you like, yeah, this person the right person. It leads you on because you're changing it. Maybe they aren't adjusting to those changes as well. Not everybody's ready to adjust to change. People do come around, but it isn't always as immediate. Now, you see how like Start That Sound? You're going to hear the song and be like, yo, this don't sound like nothing we talked about yesterday. It's a vibe. Like, I'm really good at just taking concepts and just making it a vibe. So ultimately, it is a vibe for people to dance and move around to. But ultimately, it's about, sometimes folks don't be saying that they down for what they sign up for.
Right.
And it's cool. You can't blame folks because everybody live their own life and stuff like that. But, it's all about the process of growth. You just got to learn to adjust as we move through these things.
You got to tell them you got to read the fine print.
Read the fine print.
Read the fine print.
Hey, look, sometimes people don't even put a fine print. Sometimes it's just like, hey, here to go to contract, ain't no fine print. And then they just hit you with expectation.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there, but yeah.
No, I get you. No, it sounds like a dope record, and I can't wait to tune in for sure. And it sounds like you have like a way with like storytelling, like storytelling, but like a vibe. Like I'm gonna make it a vibe, but just know there's a story behind it if you catch it. You know.
Even with like this Zendaya record, like there's obviously a story there, but the first thing everybody gonna hear is the way it sounds. They're gonna like that hook. They like, oh, this sound amazing. And my whole goal isn't to tell the story the first time around. It's just to keep you hooked, so that when you come back around, you like, hey, this like. He might have been saying something in this. Let's listen a little bit more. So like that's my first goal is to always make sure the feel is there, and then after the feel and people vibe with it, you can go listen to it after that. So like honestly, this song Lead Me On, it's gonna be like, oh, this feel great. And when you listen to it, you're gonna be like, this feel great, and he talking. That's kind of great. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. So that's all I try to specialize in.
Nah, that's dope. Like I said, I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to hear it tomorrow. It's going to be on all streaming platforms, right?
Yes, indeed.
And then your album is coming August 10th, correct?
August 10th. All streaming platforms there as well.
So now you had mentioned that you like, for this project specifically, you have a lot of New Jersey artists on there, people that you're really close with, people that you consider family because, you want to give them that platform. Sure. Long term, though, like who are your top 3 artists that you would love to get in the booth with?
Man, this be all right, cool. It's always funny because I laugh every time people ask this because it's always women. Doja Cat.
Really?
No, for sure. Doja Cat is the greatest.
No, I mean really as in it's only women?
Yeah, it's like I got the fellas on there, but like the women killing it right now.
Of course. So Doja Cat I already know. She's Doja amazing. Cat, I love her.
She amazing.
And she also kind of raps too, so I think that would be cool for her to like rap and sing too on it.
She be smoking things. Like she crazy. There's this girl from the UK, Pink Panther, she's fire. And then another one that I've recently added to my list because my homegirl played the project, Flo Milli.
Oh, Flo Milli's nice. Milli. I've heard it. Yeah, I've
Doechii
heard her.
too. I love Doechii.
Doechii?
Yeah, Doechii fire.
Yeah.
Doechii's amazing. That's just really from the ladies. From the guys, I feel like I'm starting to work with a lot of the folk I want to work with, or I'm about to start working with a lot of the folk I want to work with. There are some people who are kind of up there. Like I would love to get a record with J. Cole eventually.
That is my top. I love J. Cole. I've been a fan since his mixtape days.
See, look, now I'm about to spin the block on you. J. Cole or Kendrick? What we doing?
J. Cole.
That's tough. I ain't gonna answer that. I'm gonna say both. I like them equally.
I like them both, but if I had to pick, I'm picking J. Cole only because I don't know. Like I resonate with his music more.
I get it.
And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I just love J. Cole.
No.
That doesn't take away from Kendrick. I love Kendrick. He's fine. Sure. I've seen Kendrick. J. Cole. When I saw J. Cole in New York years ago for his one of his albums, he brought out Jay-Z and Kendrick.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's
so
tough
I think Kendrick is amazing. He's definitely one of the GOATs. But I'm sorry.
No,
go with J. Cole.
I feel you though, because Cole, I'm not gonna lie, I got into rap because of Cole, so I get that.
Really?
That. Cole is amazing. Yeah, Cole might be the blueprint to why I started rapping all together.
Yeah.
So I get that.
And he's another one that I feel like you listen to his music and be like, yo, this is fire. Then it's like, did you even hear what this man is saying? Then you gotta dissect and be like, yo, no, like this is crazy.
Cole
you hear what he said?
He be talking.
So J. Cole, and then you have 2 more now for guys.
J. Cole, Kendrick up there. Damn, I feel like those are the easy ones. All right, I'll do some ones that like people are like relatively like they not J. Cole and Kendrick obviously, but like my dog Deontay, I love working with Deontay. That's my dude. Saba, another guy I want to definitely work with. Kenny Mason, super fan of him. He another Atlanta dude, and JID. I just literally named 3 Atlanta people.
JID is in Atlanta too.
Yeah, I literally named 3 Atlanta people. But yeah, JID crazy, Kenny Mason. I work with Deontay, but I still want to keep doing more records. And then Saba, he from Chicago, amazing.
Awesome. And now my last question for you is, what advice would you give to, because like you had mentioned earlier in this interview that like you kind of were always rapping, but then you just started taking it seriously a few years ago
Yeah.
at 21. So like, what advice would you give to a person who, is rapping, putting in this time, putting in this energy, putting in money, investing, and they feel like it's not going anywhere, but they have a passion for it? What advice would you give to them, coming up in the scene? Because it's not easy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say the most important thing is once you decide to make your decision to pursue something like this, it's important that you just literally focus on yourself. Like, I started at 21. I know there's people that started at 17, 16, 18, but like, I can't let that live in my mind at the end of the day. Like, I can only control my journey and my path. That's first and foremost. Secondly, just be patient with yourself. Like, sometimes, like, you don't plant a seed in the ground and it just grows into a flower tomorrow. It takes time. You have to really nurture it, make sure it's there. It might die. You might have to replant some new ones, but like, it takes time. And even when you do reach your height, like your highest height, there's always more you can go. Like, so I would say definitely focus on your own journey, be patient, and continuously push yourself. Because even like, as crazy as it sounds, and this is not like, I don't want to, like, I literally just say stay on your own journey. Your best day could be somebody's worst day, essentially. There's always more. And I mean, obviously there's a place to which, folks push themselves. But if you really, really, really want something, don't be afraid to push yourself out the box, because doing something that you may not feel the greatest about might be the piece that changes your life forever.
Yeah.
And I've realized that every day. Sometimes just taking that risk and just jumping off the edge and doing things that maybe I wasn't, like, I'm an introvert. I don't know if that comes across, but I am an introvert fully. But I feel like with music, it forces me to just be more extroverted. And that's cool. It's a decision I got to make. Either I'm going to rise to the occasion or I'm going to just kind of stay where I'm at and just stay shy.
Yeah.
But like, my whole desire in this whole thing is like, all right, what do I really want? So, as long as you stay your course, you keep literally breaking through the next ceiling and you just patient, it'll work out.
Yeah, that's great advice, because I always tell these people too, like whenever I have like an interview with someone, I always say like, Cardi B, for example, like literally she said in an interview that when she had told her team and she said, listen, I'm going to put out Bodak Yellow, but if it doesn't like go anywhere, I'm quitting rapping. I'm not doing this anymore, because she felt like it wasn't going anywhere,
right,
or she wasn't like, getting to where she wanted to fast enough. And literally that was the song that changed her life,
Yeah.
So you just have to keep chipping away, because you just never know what is going to resonate with people.
Absolutely. You be like literally right there,
Yeah.
but like you never know what's gonna be the piece that really brings everyone to your front door, and then some.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much for stopping by Mega Atlanta Radio. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Please tell everyone where they can find you on social media, and also what you have coming up and where they can find your work.
For sure, y'all can literally find my music everywhere: Apple, Spotify, Tidal, SoundCloud. If you find it on SoundCloud, let me know, because it shouldn't be up there. But if you do, that's tough. You can follow me on the gram, Twitter, Snapchat. No, I don't even be using Snapchat. TikTok. Literally at Chris Patrick.
And what do you have coming up?
X-Files, August 10th. Yeah.
And Lead Me On.
Oh yeah, leave me up. August 3rd. Yo, so many dates. I'll be forgetting everything. Like you hit me with so much. I was just like, damn, hope I can remember. I remember all of this, but yeah.
So X-Files, August 10th.
Leave me on August 3rd.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris Patrick, for stopping by.
Appreciate you having me.